Is member in order to insinuate she's trying to direct or to question the capacity of the Speaker of this House, Madam Speaker?
Senator Gloria, first, the point of order raised by Senator Sigei is that, factually speaking, that petition was committed to a joint sitting of the Committee on Devolution and the Committee on the Jailer Committee. So do start guided, Senator Gloria.
Thank you, Speaker. As I stand guided.
And on, I've not finished. And on the second point of order, the committing of that petition was by the chair of this House, that is the Honorable Speaker. And he has powers under the standing orders to commit the petitions. So please stand guided on those two issues, points of orders that have been raised. And you can respond to them, but with due reference to the notification served by the two senators.
Chair, I am aware that this committee recommendation is a joint committee between Devolution and JLAC. Madam Speaker, no one is arguing whether these recommendations are from JLAC or from what. This is a joint recommendation. And the two players here are the JLAC committee and the Devolution Committee. Madam Speaker, I'm really wondering why there are so many points of orders, because all the points of orders are culminating to don't say what you're saying. But Madam Speaker, it will be, seriously, I have been mentored to understand that when I'm standing at the floor of the House, I'm addressing Kenyans who actually would like to understand what is happening in that House, Madam Speaker.
Senator Gloria, let me guide you finally on this matter. All senators are within their rights when they raise a point of order, and they can have a right to raise at every second, especially if the senator who is giving their contribution is raising issues that are objectionable or they feel they ought to raise a point of order. So they are within their rights, and you are also within your right to respond to those points of order as you continue to debate. You may proceed now.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
That when you refer to the resolutions of that joint committee, the reference is to the joint committee, not to one committee.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Again, I stand guided. But however, Madam Speaker, I would like to first of all find out if my time has been frozen, and I'm going to get back my time. And Madam Speaker, I would also want to say that as I am on the floor of the House, I am giving an opinion of what I think about this committee and about this report, and I'm giving my opinion based on how I understand things operate, Madam Speaker. So I stand guided. I'm not imputing improper motive. I am stating facts, and I understand that the chair, that is the Speaker of the House, has got all the powers to delegate or to send a matter to certain committees. This one was sent to the Devolution Committee and the Legal Affairs, but Madam Speaker, I'm also saying the Speaker is a human being, and I know that I'm let me say I'm a first timer, and therefore sometimes when you say I would like to advise someone, they say you don't know anything. But if I had the opportunity to advise the Speaker prior to this being sent to the Jailer Committee, I would have advised him that, you know, the Jailer Committee is constituted of lawyers, and this matter is touching on how lawyers are operating in counties, and therefore perhaps consider, even if you're going to put in lawyers, because maybe they understand the technicalities and they might be able to throw in and shed some light in terms of billing and things like that, you should definitely consider putting another committee, for instance, one that touches on human rights, you know, one that safeguards, like even the Labor Committee, for instance, because we are touching on matters of the in-house legal counsel. And I have seen that some of the recommendations that the Joint Committee have put is the capacity building of the in-house legal counsel so that they can be able to carry out all these cases. So I'm just saying, in future, if a matter comes in and it touches particularly on a certain industry, and you notice that a committee, whether ad hoc or whichever committee that it is being delegated to, this is now my random and solicited advice to the Speaker, it would be wise enough, because of the issue of conflict of interest, to at least find maybe a third and fourth party to be part of that joint committee. So, Madam Speaker, my point here being, if you look at the recommendations, which are not so many for coming from a joint committee, 2 committees, each committee has 9 members, so 18 people. We have 7 recommendations, Madam Speaker, and in all these 7 recommendations, even as I was going through all of this, and this is now where we talk about diversity in thought, the only, according to me, relevant recommendation that is in this joint committee recommendation is actually recommendation number 6, which is the Salaries and Remuneration Commission should provide clear guidelines and advisories on salaries and allowances for legal counsels across the national and county governments to enhance legal representation of the counties. Why do I say that, Madam Speaker? Everyone is quick to say that counties should not outsource legal services. That's fine. Some counties in a month have got up to 15 cases from various sides. Their in-house counsel in some counties, you'll find they have a lead counsel and maybe 1 assistant. When we are talking about don't outsource the services, what is the alternative? So that's why I'm saying, if there was someone outside who is not a lawyer, they would not be keen on structuring how the outsourced services are being outsourced. They'll be thinking, if we are saying we don't outsource the services, what is the alternative? The alternative is that your in-house counsel is demotivated, because the truth of the matter is that in-house counsel, not only in the county assemblies, but in civil service, are completely demotivated, Madam Speaker. That is the truth of the matter. To an extent that they feel even a case that they can execute, whether it falls in their arena of, expertise, they think, if we can get external services, why not? Why should I burden myself, and yet I am not motivated, and yet I am not actually remunerated well enough? I am not, county government is not really investing in me. They are not putting in resources and money on in terms of learning and development. Madam Speaker, that's why I'm saying, for me, when I looked at this recommendation, if we had diversity of thoughts outside of legal counsels, yani outside of lawyers, then some of us will be able to tell you, okay, we have focused on the outsourced services. But the alternative is, of all the 7 recommendations, just this 1 recommendation is looking into how are we going to take care of this in-house counsel that is supposed to take care of all these cases, Madam Speaker. A county like Nairobi, I think every day they are being sued. Every single day. How many court cases? God knows. Madam Speaker, we have had Senator Cherargei saying that even an in-house committee that has been put together to affirm and check which are these pending bills for legal representation, Senator Cherargei is saying even that is illegal. So who is supposed to check on which lawyer has been paid, for what representation, for what submissions, and what? So what I'm saying, Madam Speaker, is, number 1, I think if we had a standing order that was going to allow us to redo this thing, I would say that this joint committee, first of all, should have been disbanded. They removed the lawyers, put 1 or 2 lawyers for purposes of legal expertise to tell us that you can't do that because under, the Law Society of Kenya, ABCD. And then, Madam Speaker, I have seen my light has gone on, and I am 100% sure that my time was not safeguarded, Madam Speaker. I don't know if you can rule on that.
Senator Gloria, when points of orders are raised, it's based on what you're submitting on the floor of the House. It is based on those submissions that objections will be done. So ideally, what you should do when you take up the floor is utilize your time well and stay within the standing order. So proceed on with the yellow light on.
Madam Speaker, let me summarize by saying, again, maize cannot receive justice in the chicken's court. The lawyers should have never been involved. And also, I don't support this report.
Senator Gloria, also to now finally assure you that The point of orders took about 3 minutes, and your time was frozen on those points of orders. Proceed.
Madam Speaker, let me just summarize by saying and informing Kenyans that, and especially Laban, I want to say I'm sorry that your petition landed in a joint committee that was largely based on a representation of lawyers. I do not support this report.
What is your point of order,
and,
Senator Gloria, resume your seat. It will be frozen on that.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to be guided on the issue that, because I'm listening to Senator Gloria, and she's making a lot of points. So my query is, in this report, I want you to guide us, in this report, are we going to amend anything, or once the report is written or tabled by the two committees, the way it was tabled?
Senator Kenywa, you know that does not fall within any point of order.
No, I just want to guide us, Madam Chair, so that when I contribute...
resume your seat.
Madam Chair, I wanted, so that when I'm contributing, whether I'll be making sense or I'll be
Senator Kenywa, you'd rather seek that clarification when it's your time to contribute.
Madam
Just allow Senator Gloria to finish, because it has, your point of order has nothing to do with Senator Gloria's contribution.
She's making a lot of sense, Madam Chair.
Don't
she's
steal
making
her
a lot
time.
of sense, Madam Chair. So I wanted to know, with a lot of humility.
Senator Kenywa, I have guided you. Please resume your seat. Allow Senator Gloria. You're using her very few minutes wrongly.
Madam Speaker, I want to say, I was apologizing to the petitioner Laban that he has brought a very strong petition. Unfortunately, it has landed to the wrong table in terms of who should look into it, according to my opinion. And I want to apologize to him because I'm a member of this House, and I want to encourage him to bring another petition that will land probably in the right hands, and then we can be able to execute the matter. Madam Speaker, I also want to conclude by saying that there's only one recommendation here that I stand by, and that is enhancing the capacity through learning and leadership of the in-house council so that they may be able to take up more and more courses, and SRC should be able to remunerate the in-house council in a way that is motivating. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, I honestly do not support this report. Thank you.
Thank you. What's your point of order, Senator Osotsi?
Madam Speaker, I really wanted to say this when she was on the floor. But I want to say, you know, that committee, it is not true that it has only lawyers. We have very two serious members who are well grounded in civil society. That is Senator Asige and Senator Okia Omtata. And these are members who cannot do the kind of things Senator Gloria is trying to insinuate. I want to suggest that I think Speaker, Madam Speaker, when a member is contributing to this kind of debate, I still insist that debating a member or other members without a substantive motion, even if you have the facts, it is not proper. It is against the rules of the House, and I think, Madam Speaker, you allowed Gloria a lot of leeway to run away with that. I think next time that should not happen, because no, I'm not direct, I'm talking to the House. I'm not talking to the chair. So I think it is out of order for that kind of scenario to arise, where any one of us, including myself, I cannot stand here and start debating the conduct of a member or other members without a substantive motion. Even if I have the facts with me, that is out of order. And Mr. Speaker, I would like that those statements that Senator Gloria has stated be expunged from the records of this House.
Thank you for raising that point of order. In actual sense, and very strictly speaking, that is the position, that you don't debate members unless you have a substantive motion. We had guided Senator Gloria, and she withdrew the aspect that dealt with the ill motive, the insinuation of bad motives. Yes, you can reference to a committee, but the work of the committee, but not to debate specific members. And I guess her contribution should be taken within the context of reference to the specific committees that generated the report. And she withdrew the aspect of the ill motive, so that it is the work that the committee did that was brought into question. But Senator Gloria, I think the point of order raised by Senator Osotsi is a serious point of order to always be emphasized on, so that you distinguish between the two to avoid disparaging members when they have no right of response or right of defending themselves, and especially when they are absent from the House. But it's taken within the context of the committee work. With reference to Senator Kenywa's point of order, which was a bit misplaced at the point when it was brought to the floor of the House, but which is also a serious clarification being sought on how a report should be handled when a member feels that something needs to be injected. I believe a contribution from a member into a report to even request an amendment or a suggestion that brings more value to that report from the floor of the House would quite be in order, because committees work at the direction and instruction of the House, and they represent the House. So if the House of the Senate feels that there's something in a report that needs to be beefed up or a gap that needs to be filled, it is in order for the senator to raise that issue, and if it's substantial and members vote in favor, then it should be able to be included in the report. That would be the guide I would give regarding what contribution, the effect of the contributions members make, especially when they want to request for amendments or to request a value add to the report. That should be in order. So with that, I want to ask Senator Nyamu Karen to take the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And today I speak both as a lawyer and a member of the JLAC committee that prepared this report. And I will not be visiting the recommendations because I'm part and parcel of the process that came up with those recommendations. But I want to say this, Madam Speaker, that what is happening in our county governments is organized corruption. And I dare say that fraudulent legal claims in public institutions, and particularly our county governments, is a new frontier for corruption in our country, Madam Speaker. If you observe the urgency in which legal fees are settled at the expense of development budgets in our counties, you will realize something is fishy. Our county governments are cash-strapped, yet we rush or we give priority to the pending bills of our legal fees. It is tantamount to making money when you view it as a layman, and even as a lawyer. It is tantamount to making money by shuffling papers here and there, and the profit margins are huge, Madam Speaker. We are charged in this House to protect the funds that we dispense to the counties. And so, Madam Speaker, if we do not arrest this trend that has been going on for a while, we will end up pouring into a leaking, I know it in Swahili, into a leaking basket, so to speak, Madam Speaker. In Nairobi, when this new administration, this new government by Sakaja, when we came into place, the pending legal fees bill was 5.1 billion Kenya shillings. And I remember Sakaja appointed a 5-member committee that was called the Legal Fees Verification Committee that brought it down significantly to 2.7 billion shillings, which is by all means a very huge amount, Madam Speaker. That is money that can ensure Nairobi hospitals are equipped with medicine, that our hospitals are equipped with other medical equipment, that can make sure our youth are employed, that can make sure our roads are in good shape, and so on, Madam Speaker. And that is why we have to take this matter very seriously, because we are losing a lot of money in this manner, Madam Speaker. In Nairobi County, the governor has taken a step, and I want to laud him. He has led in the front. He's leading from the front, and he has recently, I think about a month ago, increased the legal team, the in-house lawyers. He has hired 60 additional, bringing them to 84 in-house lawyers in Nairobi County in a bid to save this money that goes to lawyers in the name of legal fees. I do not want to get into the debate of how these fees come about, if the remuneration order is taken into account, or how these amounts are arrived at, because my other members and my colleagues have dwelled on that. But, Mr. Speaker, I want to draw this House attention to the fact that counties are losing a lot of money through fraudulent legal fees claims. And it is up to us. I don't know if we are going to redo that report that we did as a jailer committee that I am part of, because it is very unpopular before the floor. Clearly, members do not support it. I don't know who is supposed to give the directions. I don't know if it is you, Madam Speaker, who is going to give direction on the next step that we are going to take in order to come up with a report that reflects what is happening on the ground and that reflects the future of how to handle these fees. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Karen. We are done with all those who wanted to contribute to this motion. And